The Gauteng Social Development Department says there are over 1,000 unregistered creches in this province. This comes after a child abuse videos went viral showing a teacher abusing toddlers. ENCA reporter Yanka Tolme is following the story for us. She joins us now in the studio. So Yanka, before we get to those alarming figures, let's talk about an update on that creche in Carletonville. What's happening there?
Well, we understand that the creche has now been closed. We heard that that the MEC went there immediately and that facility was closed down. They had meetings at the centre today again and they assisted and told parents where they could take their children. Obviously, since the creche is closed, they have to move it, and they also suggested registered creches where they could move this. We know that the woman has already been arrested. She's out on bail. She will be back in court on the 7th of May on these assault charges. So that's where the investigation will focus on. And obviously then it comes back to monitoring these, what they almost call mushrooming creches across the province to see how they can prevent anything like this happening. But it's also important to remember that even though ECD centre, as they call them, early childhood development centres, are registered, there's still this risks of abuse that we've seen in the country that are still there. So they are quite concerned. They're saying that the issues go very deep, but at least this registering process puts one layer of protection over the children.
But we have an estimated, well over 1,000 unregistered creches in this province alone. How does that actually happen, and how do they know the figure, and are they acting on it?
Well, they said that they have about 2,900 creches on their database. Out of them, 1,150 are not registered, but they do know about them. It's quite interesting because when I did get there, I saw some of a campaign they've been running to encourage operators to register their ECD centres. And this campaign has been running apparently for 4 years already. And I saw this in a poster that was dated March this year. The thing is, some of the requirements that are outstanding for some of these ECDs are something like municipal zoning issues. So it's in an informal settlement where you're not supposed to be running some sort of business. Others are maybe not adhering to more serious requirements like the level of qualifications of staff members. But the problem is, what they're telling me is that they can't just go and close over 1,000 creches because they don't know where those children will go. They're also saying that some of these creches are actually rendering very quality services. They can't just get some of the basically administrative issues out of the way. So they have been working to try and register some of these ECDs. Apparently in the last financial year they were able to support about 100 of them to make sure that they do get the legal requirements. But with this one, for example, the temporary permit expired back in 2016, and they said they were aware of this, and specifically because of the address, because this ECD was relocated, and that's one of the reasons why it wasn't registered. So it's quite a complicated process. You would think, he says himself, of the official, Ismaileng from the department, says he gets the thoughts that he just wants to go out and close all of these down if they're not registered. But unfortunately, we live in Gauteng where a lot of families do not have extended family to look after their children, and they said about 52,000 children will have nowhere to go if they just close these down. So they're rather trying to work with them to make sure that they do get all the legal requirements in place, all the administrative issues in place, so they can be registered, so they can continue to assist the community.
So it really is a catch-22 situation, but there are risks involved in that catch-22 situation. Thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. Yanka Tolme.